business is your business. It's all up in my lady business with me, Mary Nisi. All right, guys, we are on All Up in My Lady Business today with Ashley Quinto Powell. And you've done this, but you've been on before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when we first met.
Yeah, this is your second foray into the lady business, and I'm psyched you wanted to come back.
Absolutely. I think you're like the coolest person I know.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Do you live in the bottom of a cardboard box? I'm just kidding.
Sure don't. I live in a pretty cool place. You're still pretty cool.
You know what? Why? Why am I the coolest person you know?
Okay, well, first of all,
instead of me just going, no, you're wrong, you're stupid, maybe I should accept the compliment and actually ask why you maybe think that and maybe debate you on that.
Yeah, well, don't debate me on that, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, you talk about things other people don't want to talk about, which I think is pretty fierce. Also, I remember telling you that one of the things I like to say to new moms is that right boob, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just as always, like your best producer.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew why. Actually, at the time, I was just saying that. And I didn't know why. You knew why.
It's because your heart's on that side of your body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
It's not on that side of your body.
Yeah, exactly. It's the opposite. I used to know everything about breastfeeding. It was like when I didn't get the birth I wanted, and because I was 1,000 years old when I gave birth, I knew somewhere inside of me that Sebastian was the only one, and I made breastfeeding it was like the most important thing in the world. And oh my God, I was so obsessed with, but I also didn't feel like I could talk about it very much because so many women in my life did not have a very good breastfeeding experience, or they just weren't advised correctly on how to, it's like you really need that village, and
For
the village doesn't exist. And you have to find the right person that you pay to tell you about the village that and it's like, I don't know. So there was a period of my life where I knew so much about breastfeeding. When you just said it, I'm like, I forgot. Wait, what side why is that? It was like kind of coming back to me. So, but yeah, I'll never get to do that again. But have you seen the show Margot's Got Money Problems?
No.
Have you heard about it?
Mm-mm.
It's on Apple TV, and it has Nick Offerman and Elle Fanning and Michelle Pfeiffer, and she plays spoilers if you don't want to know about what goes on in Margaret's Got Money Problems, but she gets pregnant she's fucking her lit professor, who is this like weaselly little dude, and she's Elle Fanning, and so it's like a thing where like that guy could never get a girl that looks like that. Only reason why is because he was able to like shine her on, her writing, and that made her feel good. And she winds up getting pregnant, and he wants nothing to do with her. And her dad is played by Nick Offerman, and he's a pro wrestler who went into rehab. And her mom is Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's like it's a really good show, but it's the most accurate representation of what it's like to have a newborn. Like I've never seen a show that really showed what they had really good prosthetics, or else either that or she's actually breastfeeding, because like she takes her boob out and like squeezes it, and milk flies like onto a mirror. And it was like I had almost a letdown, like watching that, and I was like, I'm like, oh my God, do I miss having an infant? Do I want to have a baby? I can't have a baby. My ovaries are tumbleweeds. And that was
me too. And that's a weird thing. I really do not think that I could have a baby, and yet rationally, I know I would not have a baby. I also don't want a baby. There's no reason. My 11 and my 13-year-old are enough.
They did it.
I do not want to go back to babies ever. No. The diapers, the day we threw out the diaper snake was like the diaper genie where it creates a giant. Yeah, that was like one of the best days of my whole life. And the day we got rid of car seats from the car, these were huge milestones.
I want to say that we destroyed my breast pump, like the printer in Office Space. Like I like that. It was just not. It just wasn't. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's over, but it was really nice.
I love this for you. All right. So what are you thinking about deeply, Mary?
Whose podcast is this? What am I thinking about deeply? Wow, that's an interesting question. I'm thinking a lot about how fucked up the world is right now, and how hard it is to raise a child in it, and how like yesterday, John and I were talking about Sebastian's we were talking about how his grades are gonna start counting now. Like, he's in the 6th
Mm.
grade, and it's, like, the last year before grades start happening that you have to start actually caring about to a certain degree. Like, you're getting on the path that's gonna take you to whatever the rest of your life is. And as those words were kind of coming out of my mouth to him in a sort of a disdainful, like, "You better start caring about your grades because otherwise you're not gonna get into Stanford," as if that was, like, a
Right,
thing.
is that the goal?
No,
I'm not sure that's the goal.
no, it's brown. Come on, it's brown. Anyway, uh, safety school. And I just was like, there isn't a world where, like, when he gets to college age, that it's gonna look like what it looks like now. Like, like, I have these friends who all have kids that are, like, in, like, juniors and seniors in high school, and they have, like, college counselors that they pay to help them get their kid into college, and everybody gets them apparently. Apparently, it's a thing
Yeah.
everybody does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if I'll do that. Like, and I also don't know if it's necessary. Like, I don't feel like AI, I don't know. I mean, the future seems really weird.
Future does seem really weird. But I think, like, in the most beautiful way. I mean, I hope by the time and 6th grade is not that far away from college. It is just hitting me that because my son's in 7th. This is I mean, we are like we're on a train that is not stopping towards high school graduation.
Yeah, towards the
And
rest of
it
their
has
lives.
felt like right, and it has felt like it's 20 years away for the last 13 years, and now it feels like it's
But, like, do you
6
think
months away.
so I think I've mentioned this once before on the pod, so I apologize for repeating myself, but, like, I was on a vacation and I asked the 16-year-old boy, like, what he wanted to do, um, for, like, when he grew up, like, when he what do you wanna be? And he goes, "I wanna be a businessman." And I was like, "That's not a job. A businessman is not a job. Like, what do you wanna do?" Like, he's like, "I wanna wear a suit and walk into a place and command respect," was basically what he was saying, and I'm like,
Is that a career now?
I also well, I mean, I think
I
that
mean, I think it was
I think it
at one
was.
point.
I think that as long as you were a white guy that went to a state school or you were in a, fraternity, those things being like, "Oh, I went to Ohio State," you automatically get an interview because were a
Yeah.
Delta Gamma at, you know Purdue or whatever, and that is alone to get you in the room, and being able to do the job, they'll figure it out, like, they can do anything. It's like high school is just, like, a long networking group until you get to a job, I feels like, for
I mean, I think
a
that might
certain
just be the most accurate understanding of how the world works.
Mhm.
Yes, the big networking game until you get a job.
Until you get a job, and then you have different networking games. You're either like it's like and you feel it even when you have kids, it's like, you have to get them in the same swimming lessons. Everybody gets their same swimming lessons when they're 4 my son was in swimming lessons when he was 4 months old. What was I fucking doing? Like, and, like you get him in the little kickers and they're all,
Oh,
all
yeah.
these things that like, and my son was bad at all of it because he wasn't I don't say bad, but he's just not a sporty child. And you lose like a lot of, I feel like, currency when you don't have the kid that does the thing that everybody else does. Like
Mhm.
they're all
Mhm.
off at soccer games on the weekends. And while I'm very grateful that I am not at soccer games, I'm like, am I missing? Is he missing? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't at him.
No. Well, I tell you what I am really thinking deeply about, Mary Nisi, is that both my kids are now in baseball and softball, and also my husband is into softball. So all of these 3 members of my family are participating in the sport. I was not a sporty child. I was like the opposite of a sporty child. And I was a theater kid and we rehearsed for months. Your parents come to one performance. That is the only thing that they are expected to do. Somehow parents are expected for baseball and softball to show up to 100 games. That doesn't even like logistically, it doesn't even make sense. And there's not, at least here, there isn't enough field time. And so the Jeffrey had a game, my 13-year-old had a game that started at like 8 on a
P
school night, and we were
PM?
not home until 11. Yes! Isn't that intense? Like, there's just no reason for that.
No, no,
He's in 7th grade. We
no.
might just dial this back.
It's not like he's gonna go and become a professional softball player, Like, it's not I mean,
Right.
I feel like this weird thing around sports is, like, if they're not in sports, they're gonna, like they won't learn teamwork, and they won't learn how to and I guess maybe that is true because I am not a team player, and I never really did a team sport. I am not good I am not good in a team environment. Like, I just am not. I need to be in charge.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's great.
I'm also not
You
good
didn't miss anything.
I'm also not good to be, like, relied upon in the moment,
What?
like like a ball's coming towards you, got to catch it and then do something else with it. Like that is, I can't handle the pressure of a bunch of people relying upon me for a thing that only I can do, and then I got to do another thing. Like those are
Mm.
like that is the amount of stress I have around that is bad. I have dreams where I'm like in the outfield and I catch a ball and I don't know what to do with it.
Well, I can tell you that in real life, I would never get to that part, mostly because I wouldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but it is interesting to watch my husband, who cares very deeply about sports, say things like, "I'm so upset I didn't get to play much because the team is too big." Oh, you're upset that you didn't have to go up to bat? I don't understand.
Like
That
I'm only in it for the party afterwards.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Um, so I guess just to go back and remind our listeners who you are.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like we just sort of got into
The
this, and
woman who
I'm
needs
like,
no
I
introduction,
kind of.
according to her.
I mean, you don't. I was in it. Maybe I don't. Maybe this is extra. This is for no good reason. But Ashley does own my VA rocks, my audio rocks. Any other things that rock?
Mhm.
Anything else rock?
I have lots of things that rock. But my audio racks and my VA racks are certainly the biggest. I every time I have an idea, I buy the domain
Me
for the
too.
idea.racks. Is I mean,
I mean, I don't buy that. I buy my own URLs though. I have so
yeah,
many
yeah, yeah.
URLs.
What's your favorite of the unused so far URLs?
I have one that is it is called a Coven of Stitches, and that is for my craft store that I'm gonna open someday.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Have you been to a crafts secondhand store?
a craft second sta no.
It's a new thing. They do these like it's used art supplies in the way that like you have used art supplies. You're just like sitting there
Mhm.
because you spent a bunch of money acquiring a habit, and as it turns out, you don't like that thing anymore.
That closet right there,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's that right there, that closet is filled with the craft kits and fabric
Yes.
and paint pens and glitter
Mhm.
and felt balls, just like a museum to things I thought I'd
Mhm.
get into.
Absolutely. I'm actually sitting right next to the chest of drawers that represents the same for me. You want to
Mhm.
see some? Yeah. Here we have Posca markers. I have all manner of like little fuzzy nonsense.
Here's a quilt that I have been sort of working on for almost a year.
Quilts?
Yeah, I have
Wow.
yeah, no, I've got here's a chain of, flying Vs. No, this is curves for a I've got some of it built. I have some I've got
That
very
is very
I
impressive.
have
Those
parts
are
of it.
tiny squares.
Yeah, no, it's taken forever, and it's like I do it in, like, a fit of, like, I'll cut a bunch of stuff out and then never sew it. Here's my little feed pigs. But yeah, no, this is the sto I have this all over my house, just half made.
Amazing.
Sh
I'm
I
going to
have
show you. This is something I've been working on for 15 years. This is my cross stitch project. It is almost done.
Who's Sean?
He's my husband.
Okay, so this is for an adult.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
it
we
definitely
so
started before we were married.
oh my god. That
Yeah.
I mean, cross stitches takes that's labor. I'm more of a needle pointer because it's just one stitch.
Oh yeah.
I do
I've
a
done that
lot.
too. I tried to take up oil painting. This summer I want to do portraits. That is also another example of wow, that's an expensive hobby.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to pick it up once and then
I,
see what
uh,
happens.
I've been working on a belt or a strap for, like, 8 months, and it's taking forever, and it's pink, and it has, like, tigers on it. It's really cool. And, a friend of mine saw me working on it. She's like, "That's really cool. You should sell those." And I was like, "What would you pay for this? If this was all just one strap, what would you pay?" She's like, "I don't know, maybe $50." And I'm like, "The canvas was $185. The threads that go in it, they're like $9 a skein, and it takes like 45 of them." The amount of time I've worked on this, it's like I'd have to sell this for like $8,000 in order to like recoup
Yeah.
like what it would take to do. It's like women's work is so devalued.
Yeah. Also, tell me more about this craft. What is you're making a strap for like a guitar?
It's downstairs, but it's a strap that's gonna be a purse strap, but it could be a
Fun.
belt. It could be a belt, a purse strap, a guitar strap. But then
Are
you have
you weaving it?
no, it's needlepoint. So it's been painted. So it's a hand painted like canvas that has like it has like tigers, and then you needlepoint on top of it, and then you send it off to somebody to have it finished, have them turn it into like they'll put leather on the back and put the hooks on the sides and everything. And the finishing will probably cost me $300. So it's like which I mean, just in hard costs, it's probably a $600 strap. It's like, and I've been working on it forever, and who knows if I'll even finish it. That's the other thing. I have a whole bag that is just 87% finished needlepoint crafts. Where people are, and when I'm working on them, they're like weird. I always find like the weird one. I make the weird one. Like, what do you do with that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna work on it. It's gonna sit in a bag, and then it's gonna be at like my estate scale after I'm dead. And someone will be like, "I'm gonna
For
buy
sure.
these, and I'm gonna finish them," and then they're gonna sit in a bag in their closet until it
Hmm.
gets put onto the next estate sale.
Yes, this is the true circle of life.
It really is. It's Hakuna Matata. It is how it goes. It is how it goes. Did I hear that you're kind of in a pre-retirement situation or something, or you're kind of
I
doing
am, yeah. I work
something?
very, very, very little.
Yay!
Yeah, it is like the best thing I did. Actually, like in small business and in startups, we hear so much about like grinding and like I have these girlfriends who other than me mostly hang out with like a very male contingent in like the entrepreneurs organization, and
Mhm.
they tend to be like the only women in these groups of like hard
Alpha
charging
male.
startup dudes. Yeah. And the things that they do for like getting themselves pumped up sounds like actual torture. There's a lot of cold plunging. I have a gal pal who went to Antarctica
I'd
with
do that.
an EO group.
I'd do that. You
You
would
I would for sure go to Antarctica. I would for sure not go with an EO group. But here's where I wanna go with friends. I wanna go lay on a beach. I
Mhm.
wanna I took a trip to, this magical place called Rancho La Puerta in Mexico this year
Okay.
that is, it is just paradise for middle-aged women. On the every hour on the hour, there's a different class, and it starts with, like, you wake up early and you go on a mountain hike, then a beautiful organic farm to table breakfast. Then, we start Pilates. You have so many you can pick from.
Wait,
So you
what
can do, like
wait, what is this place? Is it women only?
no, there are men, but, like, not a lot. And,
So
it is
it's just like a resort that has just activities?
yes, 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 yeah. And it goes like, okay, you can do Pilates or yoga or meditation on the first hour. At the second hour, your choices are there's a disco dance class, then there's a uh, making your nature
Enneagram or
diary
something,
thing.
or
Yeah, and it goes like that, and you just sort of pick what you want, and then when you don't want to be doing something, you nap in a hammock or go in one of the many pools, or you go to the spa. There was also a guy doing like some sort of water birth therapy stuff. And I don't really like it when strangers touch me, so I was not into this. But all of the girlfriends in my group, I think, did this like special. This guy is going to cradle you in his arms in a warm pool and then heal all of your childhood trauma. And yeah, it was pretty great place.
it is called Rancho Relaxo? Like, wait, what is it?
Rancho La Puerto
The ranch of the port ranch? The
of the
Door
door.
Ranch? The Door Ranch?
Yes. Hmm.
And where is it?
It's right outside of Tecate.
So what did you
So
fly
it's like
into?
on the other side of San Diego.
Oh, so you just did you drive there?
I flew into San Diego, and then the ranch has just a bus that you get on, and it's like everything. I cannot tell you actually how nice this place is because, like, uh, the grounds are kept up so incredibly well, and when you're walking around in the morning, there are, like, the garden workers are there meticulously, like, raking the,
Sand?
sand paths so that they're all, free of debris, and then, there's someone who's coming along with, like, a leaf blower to make sure nothing is on the path, but they turn all the loud stuff off as you're walking past because you don't wanna disrupt your peace. I mean, there's
This
guest chefs. It was just beautiful.
Wait, would you just go there for funsies, or was there a birthday import or something?
No, somebody I really admired was going, and you know me. If you say like, "Hey, would you like to travel internationally?" I'm in. But if like you want to get together on the regular, I'm probably out because I don't have time for that. But
Uh-huh.
for sure, traveling
Yeah.
internationally.
Yeah, if, like, if you're getting on a plane and going someplace where the money's different, then you're in.
Totally.
It
100%.
sounds amazing. That sounds, like, very healing and awesome.
You should come on the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, there's gonna be a next one?
Of course.
Um, so wait, how do we get on Rancho Relaxo?
So we're not doing cold plunges with
Oh,
the
yeah.
boys. We're doing our own thing.
Yeah, so these friends that are doing these intense things, are they also so they're also obviously entrepreneurs since they're in
Hmm.
EO.
Yeah.
And, what do they think about like, what is your path right now? Like, what do they think about your path, your friends that are in that? Like, how do they feel about, like, how you're doing things versus how they're doing things?
It's a good question. Everyone is on their own path. I will say my path is to not work as much as I did in the years leading up to now. It's to spend a lot of time with my kids. It's to spend a ton of time with my husband. We just adopted a new dog, so now there are 2 dogs. So now I'm like, puppy
So
piles everywhere. These are the things I want to spend time on.
Now let me so, like, one of the things I'm having a hard time with my newfound situation that I'm in is it's really unrelatable. Like, it's,
Hmm.
I don't even relate to it. Like, I don't it's like I have worked so hard since I was 14 years old, and
Hmm.
I don't know how to not work, but I'm also realizing that my working was giving me, like I actually this morning, I was talking about it with my therapist about how, like, I always feel like there's something I should be when I'm doing one thing, I always feel like I should be doing 14 other things. Like, the thing
Hmm.
I'm doing isn't the right thing I'm supposed to be doing. There is a right thing. There is somebody out there judging me and telling me exactly what I should that knows what I should be doing. They aren't telling me what it is, and I'm just trying so hard to figure out what that is. And, I don't even know what to do, like, even when I don't have anything to do, I don't know what to do at that time. I'm like, "I used to read books. Can I just read a book?" Then I feel like if I'm reading a book, I should be cleaning something. It's like this weird I don't know how to relax, or I don't know how to, like, be alone with myself.
Yeah, it does take some. I will say it does take some getting used to. A I went through a period where uh I was very, very depressed because I felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything. And that's kind of the point
While you were working, or after you made this sort of making
after
this
I made the switch. Yeah. Like, what do I do now? And then uh going to like Rancho La Puerta is not that relaxing if you're not stressed before. And so then have we just spent our entire lives being like in stress and then relieving that stress, but it only the relief only feels good because it's in such high contrast to the stress we were under. And then like why would we do that in the first place? That's probably not where we want to be. And that can lead pretty quickly to stoicism, where like, "Oh, okay, well, we're gonna study that for a while."
Wait, what do
But
you mean
it
it
is
means what do you
not.
mean it loses stoicism? What do you mean by that?
Well, okay. So the Stoics are one of the things that they're excited about is like not not putting stress on yourself in the first place, and then just having sort of an even keel, but being really comfortable that like you're not in the high highs or the low lows. You're purposefully in the middle.
Mhm.
That's an okay thing. That is a really, really hard lesson because we have spent our entire lives feeling like being busy is productive and being busy is very unproductive. We have spent a lot of time measuring our own productivity by a task list. And, it can be really hard if you have only 5 small things. I mean, this is like the George Costanza problem, right? Like if you're unemployed, you do one thing a day, you don't do them all at once, or you'll
Mhm.
have nothing else to do for the
Mhm.
week.
Mhm.
Mm, they're being able to be really purposeful about where you put your time is kind of magical, but we're so unaccustomed to
Mm.
it that it doesn't really make sense for how our brains work. And it is real. I mean, there is a lot of work that goes into being okay with, well, I'm not, this is what I want to be doing, whatever it is. And frankly, sometimes like it is walking around in the garden and not really accomplishing anything. And that's okay if that's what your brain needs. Your brain really does need to be bored and it needs to have time to think and uh and to be expansive in general. So leaving time for all of that is important, but it ends up being really, really hard to reconcile with everything that you were judging yourself before based on a totally different paradigm.
Mhm, mhm. But, like, do you find like, can you say to people, like, "I don't really want" like, I feel like if I were to say, like, "I don't really wanna work," it comes off as this sort of, like, privileged, like, the most un-American thing you could possibly be saying is, like, "I don't wanna work and I just wanna, like, hang out." And I do just I mean, I like being busy and I like having things to do, but I don't have anything I'm like I feel like right now I really need to just not I keep wanting to eliminate more things out of my life. I feel like I had so much responsibility and so much hanging on my head all the time. Like, I felt like I always had, like, the sort of Damocles hanging over my head at all times, and it still hasn't
Uh-huh.
gone away. I mean, shit can always go south. There's more shitty ways that the time can or that life can, mess with us, the Trump administration, etcetera. I guess I don't know what's next, and it feels so hard for me to just live in that moment of just uncertainty, of just literally just being in the moment and, like, just being here
Yeah.
now. It's the hardest thing
Well,
for
I
me.
think it's helpful to remember that your brain really likes stasis. Your brain really likes to stay where it's comfortable. And where your brain, Mary Nisi, is comfortable is having lots going on. And so you need to retrain your brain. It's a neurological effort. Also, this is like the most American thing. We created businesses, we created jobs, we put people in charge of those businesses so that they could run them. And now we're going to go do something else. And that something else can be anything. It can be
Mhm.
raising our kids, being really present with our families. It can be starting the next thing. Doesn't actually matter. The point of building a business actually is to get out of the business. Otherwise, you don't have a business. You have built yourself a job.
Yeah.
That's just a very
A job that you're paying
expensive.
for. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. It's a very expensive executive position.
Mhm. It is, and I felt like that's all I was doing, like, pandemic on, I felt like all I was doing was just, like, paying to have a job I hated. Like, it was, it was everything got so hard. Do you have another big question for me? Like, what's really weighing on my mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you spending time? Where are you spending time?
I'm so glad you asked. I have been trying to work on getting my exercise routine normalized.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like a routine person. I need, like, my life to just be like, every day has a thing that goes on inside of it.
Uh-huh.
And I got a Peloton during the pandemic, so I'm like, "Okay, I'll just be a Peloton person." But you don't have anybody, like, forcing you to get on the bike, you don't have
Yeah.
anybody expecting you to be there. And so I, like, sign up for Pilates, and I've got my yoga classes, and I got not a personal trainer, but I go to this gym now where it's like an average Joe's type gym where they give you exercises to do, and you do the exercises, and so that has been really good to just get my because, like, if I don't exercise, my endorphins don't know what's going on, and then I'm like, I need the exercise. So exercise has been, like, a thing where I've been trying to just, like, schedule it, get it in there.
Amazing.
This past weekend, I gardened for 3 days straight, which
Wow.
and I haven't I used to when I lived in the city, I had a beautiful garden that I worked so hard on, and I worked on it all the time, and then if I ever had just, like, a moment, I would just, like, run outside and grab, like, weed, and I would, grow my stuff, and I loved my beautiful garden, my bees made everything awesome, like, it was this
Hmm.
like, ever since I got up here into Evanston, I just have zero desire. I have no idea that I don't wanna touch dirt, I don't wanna I want I it's like I really just kinda let it go, like, I hadn't cleaned the leaves out of anything for 2 years, and
Huh.
it was weird. It felt like a giant metaphor or something, because I was so sad and depressed and then not working in my garden, and, my bees all
Yeah.
died last year, so I had to get new bees this year, and it was like, and so then I just kinda got a wild hair up my ass to, like, hack back a tree, and then I hacked the tree back like a bush, not a tree, but a bush, and then I basically then just cleaned out my entire garden, and it looks so good right now, and I'm like, why was that so hard? Like, when I would think about going and cleaning out the leaves, it just seemed like this huge, hard
Yeah.
thing that I would just ugh. And even, like, doing, like, one section like, I get in this all or nothing kinda thinking where I'm like, "Well, if I can't clean up all the leaves, what's the point of only cleaning out one area?" 'Cause,
Yeah.
then I don't do the next one and only one area looks clean, then, like, taunts me, Like,
Mhm.
it's and so I literally was in my garden all weekend long, and I was so happy. My husband's like, "It's really nice to see you in the garden again." Like, it was, like, he noticed obviously that I hadn't been doing anything out there, and he wasn't saying it in a, like, "Bitch, better get back behind that hoe." It was more just, like, it was just excited to see, like, little Mary coming back, and, like, I feel like I'm getting kinda but anyway, I basically upped my antidepressants last week, on the advice of my therapist. She was like, "I think you might be depressed." I'm like, "What's depression? I'm not sad." But I didn't realize depression can manifest itself, like, differently. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I did not
Apathy.
did
Yeah.
not didn't understand that one. Didn't under I honestly, like, I don't I've always been in a good mood all the time. Like, even when things are shitty, I can still, like, laugh and have a good time, and I just have been feeling just, like, flat and, like,
Ugh, yeah,
unable
that's
to,
the
like
worst.
and so I increased my meds, like, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I was able to garden this weekend because I was like, "Oh, things that used to bring me joy." And it felt like a montage of, like, Mary gets on the right meds, and all of a sudden she's, like, gardening, and then she went to Pilates class, and she's, like, riding a horse and playing tennis, and, like, it feels kind of, like, cliched, but I'm also like, "Wow, what else can I do? What else can I
Yeah, I
do
mean,
with
maybe
this?"
cliched for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a good move to me.
So what are you doing with your time?
Go to the gym every morning with my husband. Actually, speaking of exercise, uh, I'm wor I'm working on my, I have a word of the year every year, and, I started with a year of yes and, said yes to everything, and that year I tore my ACL log rolling, saying yes to one too many things. And, so the next year I had a year of adventure, which was much more, on the nose. And I've done, so I pick a word every year. I think I did like health and then wealth, and this year is volume, because things in my life need to change volume. Like, my butt needs to get smaller, but my bank account needs to get bigger.
Okay.
And, mm, you know, so I'm working on adjusting, all of the places where volume makes sense. That's my word of the year. So I'm working out a ton, and I also found that, if I went and saw friends at the gym, that made a huge difference for me. And, so now I work out with a personal trainer, or a small group class,
Mhm.
I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. I am spending a ton of time at baseball and softball, although if I'm being really honest, I know my husband is spending way more time at baseball and softball than I am. Um, I made a little dollhouse. I love making dollhouses. You know the dioramas in the basement of the Art Institute
A
are like
million
my
percent. The miniatures room is, like, my favorite room at the Art Institute. Not my favorite, but it's
it's
one of
the
my I love
best.
it. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so weird. I love it so much. Do you
Mhm,
make
yeah.
those?
Yeah.
What do you mean
Well,
you make them?
you can just buy a kit. They're not
Oh,
even that expensive. Yeah. And I think now they have ones that are like, oh, you just sort of take the stuff and you put it together like the instructions say. I'm on the ones that are like, oh, here are a bunch of beads and wood and cloth, and you make it into a house.
like, it's a straight up
Uh
is it, like, diorama-y?
yeah.
Like, is it
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
like a Cornell box? Like, where it's got like, do you put lights and shit inside of them?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
do you have an Instagram for these? You need like, what do you do with them? You just look at
I
them?
know. Kind of.
Are
Yeah,
they are
actually what
they
I do
are
with
they
them
in that
is
closet?
I put them on display for like a month and then I get very tired of them. And usually one of my kids wants one, or I've given them to like neighborhood kids. And there's something very pleasing for my brain in there because I think building businesses is so there's no instruction manual at all. It's just like, I don't know what's going to work. You're going to try all the things. Some of them are going to work. Some of them are going to really kick your butt. And this is like, nope, there's a set of instructions. If you follow these instructions to the T, you will get this exact thing. And I find that so comforting. And, you can see, like, I think I started that particular just tell me what to do craft. with like paint by number. Oh, I
Mhm.
can crank out a paint by number like nobody's business.
So needlepoint is very
Um,
similar in the same way because it's just the
yeah,
colors are there on this thing, and and if I do a I almost get excited when I fuck up a stitch because then I gotta rip it all out and then redo it. And, like, in needlepoint world, they're always like, "No, keep your mistakes." Like, that's the whole thing. I'm like, "I don't know. I like making it look perfect." I have
mhm,
so few things in my life that I ever look at and go, "I did that perfectly." But if I do the
yeah,
colors right, it scratches my brain. Like, it makes me feel like someone told me what to do and I did it, and then I give
mhm,
myself the gold star that I'm
indeed,
perpetually always looking for.
100%. I give you a gold star, Mary Nisi.
I wanna see your miniatures. I wanna see your,
I
like,
will send pictures.
are they weird places? Is it like the interior of the Peach Pit after dark? Or, like, is it is it like, what is it? I don't know why that's what I went to. I would love to see and if someone made a miniature of the Peach Pit after dark.
100%. Mostly I do little houses. So they're like, there's like a little breakfast scene and then there's a little no people in it because that's too cheesy. And almost always a piano. I really like little pianos.
And do you change, like, going from, like, baby grands to uprights to Roland 606s?
Yeah, I think I mostly just respect a tiny baby grand piano. A baby,
Mhm.
baby, 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 baby
Little
grand
little
piano.
little tiny
hmm
fingers.
hmm
Um,
Yeah,
so you're in your craft era.
I am in my craft era. Very much.
But are you
Uh
having a hard time not wanting to turn it into money, though? Like, do you keep thinking about monetizing your hobbies?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's not a hobby. Is your monetization of a hobby can make a hobby go from fun to not fun very quickly. And
Mhm.
also, like you touched on the economics of crafting. It doesn't make any sense. The thing I showed you, I'm working on for 15 years. I bought the kit for like $60 literally 15 years ago. And at the end of my life, one of my kids will throw it away. There's just no, there's like it's not even close.
So I have 5 brothers and sisters, and so our Christmas mantle was crazy. It had to like, my mom handmade all of our stockings, and some of them were like, mine was, like, felt with sequins and shit on it, and my brother had one that was kinda puffy and, like, but they were all my mom made all of them, and they all looked different. Like, it wasn't like they all had it was cool. Like, I loved all of our
Yeah.
and then after she died, my I knew that, like, my brother had taken the box that had the stockings in it, and I was, like, I'm, like, hunting him down and chasing him down. Finally, I'm like, "Just send them all to me, I'll take them all." And then he only had mine, and it was awesome because I got so I have my childhood stocking on that's the one that
That's
I
so
use, it's the one
magical.
that my mom made, and then my little sister, when she made one for John and she made one for, Sebastian. So my little sister so they have, like, legit new theirs, but I have the one that my mom made. And it says Mary Beth on it because that used to be my name. I mean, it is my name. That's my name. My name is Mary
That
Beth.
is so cute.
Yeah, no,
Look
but
at you, so cute.
it's so funny I went to Omaha a couple weeks ago with 2 of my sisters for, like, this sisters trip. It was really fun. Like, it was weird, but it was fun. And we went to meet up with one of my sister's old friends, and I walked and she's like, "Mary Beth," and I'm like, "Ugh," like, it was like this it was like I gelatinated and then reformed. It was like I didn't know what to do with somebody calling me that. It was, like, both comforting and triggering at the same time. Like, "Oh, someone who's known me since the early '80s, and also don't do that." Like, I'm not a Mary Beth. I'm just not. Is Quinto your maiden name or your middle name?
Well, both. It is my maiden name and now it is my middle name.
What is does it mean the check or the hotel? The Quinta Inn?
No, yeah, that is La Quinta, but
Mhm.
Quinto is a Portuguese name in fifths. So where I'm big on fives, but it doesn't come from anywhere. Like I just did my genealogy and I couldn't find where I mean there's it doesn't start anywhere. Someone just was like, this feels like a good name.
Are you Portuguese?
No, also no.
Um, when you did your genealogy, did you find anything cool?
Well, I have known for a long time that on my mom's side, we have someone who signed the Declaration of Independence, Robert Morris.
Like the
And
Robert
he,
Morris? Like the Robert Morris,
he
the design guy?
no, Robert Morris College was named after him, but he is the reason that we use the symbol for the dollar, the like S with the two lines. And he arranged for the financing of the Revolutionary War and then died in debtor's prison because no one paid him back and he had put his like personal I know it's
He financed
It's fine.
America and then died in debtor's prison? That's
Yeah. But not cool enough to have made it into Hamilton, but
no.
cool enough that, like, it was a distinct possibility.
I can imagine him saying, and Robert Morris is the reason why we got the dollar sign or something like that. That I can see that being in there. My family does not go that far back.
Where's your family from?
My my mother's side is like a Northern European mutt situation. I don't know how far back I know my grandma was German, but I don't know like how far back they go. My dad, on the other hand, he's first generation. His parents were born in Italy. And my grandpa, actually, this is pretty cool. My grandpa immigrated here when he was 16. And we went to New York last year on vacation and went to Ellis Island. And I actually found my grandpa's, like, when he landed at Ellis Island. And what's interesting is he came here in 1921. He was 16. And he came by himself, didn't have and he had a brother that lived in Omaha, and that's how he wound up going to Omaha, but when he landed in '21, which was in the period of time when Ellis Island was being used it got turned over to be a munitions factory, basically,
Uh-huh.
during World War One. So from, like, 1916 to 1921, it was decommissioned as a place where people would land, like, that where immigrants would land, and um, they would land people on the boat. So everybody that came to America after that, they got processed on the boats. They weren't getting processed in Ellis Island. However, when my grandpa came through and he was 16, that was seen as, like, illegal. Like, he was too young to be here by himself. And so he got taken off the boat and brought into, like, the barrack, like the prison sort of thing that was on Ellis
Oh my
Island.
gosh.
Because if you were that underage, you then would become just like a problem. You know, you didn't have parents, you weren't really old enough to like get meaningful work. So then you would just like a financial drag on the social system. And so they landed in him. And then he had to contact his brother in Omaha who had to wire him money and say that he was going to be his sponsor or whatever. And so I got all these documents, and it's like you see that they called his brother. His name was Raffaello or something, and he lived in the house that my father was born in and died in. Like, my dad was born and died in the same house. And the house that my grandpa went to in 1920 when he moved here, that's where he went. And you can see, like, he had like 4 meals on the taxpayer's dime. Like, you can see it was all this stuff was kind of laid out in here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
And then he moved to Omaha, and he had an arranged marriage with, I don't know how much of that should really tell, well, whatever, fucking doesn't matter. My grandpa had an arranged marriage with my grandma, but he was actually in love with her sister. And yeah,
Whoa.
and it was like this super dago, like, my grandpa was, like, in love with her sister his whole life, and then he died, and my grandma was like, "I know you were fucking my husband," and then they didn't talk until, like, she was on her deathbed, and then they had this big, like, Italian, like, and then my grandma died.
Yeah.
But it was, like, one of these, like, super, like, gross, like, cheating situation. But my grandpa then
Did they cheat though? Did they get together, the sister and the grandpa?
yeah, they were maintaining a relationship the whole time that he was, like, married to my grandma. And
Really?
then when he died, my grandma was like to her sister was like, "I know you were fucking my husband. You're dead to me." And then they didn't talk for years. And then when she was on her deathbed, she forgave her and then died, knowing that everything was cool between her and her sister.
Wild.
Yeah, like some crazy
I
ass
mean,
shit.
I think the wild part is she knew but waited until her husband was dead to say anything, which feels like the
No
exact wrong
accountability.
timing.
No accountability. He just
Yeah.
got to, like, live it. I mean, whatever. I mean, it was a different time, but, I don't even know why I outed that crazy laundry when really just asked me what they did here. So my grandpa started a restaurant, and it became kind of a big deal in Omaha, and then my dad ran it into the ground after he died, and I had a different childhood than my sisters did, and my brothers, but, yeah, there's a lot of dirty laundry that I'm airing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, like,
What a good
I probably already told this story, but the joke we have in my family is that, like, that my because there's 5 years in between me and my there's 4 kids, then 5 years, and then me and my little sister after that, and the joke we have in our family is that, like, their childhood was like the first half of Boogie Nights, where it was, like, film and, like, had good soundtracks, and everybody had good hair, and then Robin and I's childhood, it was the second half of Boogie Nights. It's on video with the cocaine and the firecrackers and it's like in both
Yeah.
cases, it's still porn. It's still porn, but theirs is slightly rosier than like the one that we had.
Mhm. Mhm.
Trauma.
Oh, that's a wild analogy.
Mhm.
I love every bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't fun to be raised in, but it kinda was. Definitely was never dull. Where are you from?
Chicago. I grew up at, Addison and Lakeshore,
Oh,
right in the heart of Boys Town.
dang. Where'd you go to high school?
Latin.
You know, it's whoa, look at you. It's funny, I saw this meme the other day that was like, "Everyone says they're from Chicago until you ask them where they went to high school." It's
That is very true.
like,
I
no.
am actually one of those Chicagoans who, if you tell me you're from Chicago, I do need to hear cross streets, or
Mhm.
we're going to have a discussion, just a small one, about how you're actually from the suburbs. Although
Yeah.
I will say, Evanston is like the one suburb that I think counts as Chicago.
I hear that, and I agree with it to a certain extent 'cause I'm pretty happy here. Like, I think it is, but, it is not the city, though, like, it's definitely is a suburb. It's not the city, but in some good ways and some bad. What's crazy is, like, our schools have, like, completely collapsed. Like,
Really?
yeah, like, I moved here because of the schools, and the schools are good, but we had this, like, corrupt like, superintendent that, like, stole, like, $23 million and, like, funneled it through a bunch of fake corporations and stuff, and he's been indicted. He
Yikes.
might be in jail. But, like, we have this huge budget shortfall, so they're always like, we're gonna get rid of the school counselors, and we're gonna get rid of libraries," and it's like they pull up these ideas so that everyone, like, freaks out and then makes them find the money elsewhere. And I had this thought the other day where I'm like, every school district I know of has problems right now. Like every school
Mhm.
district has like, I'm sure part of it is just the collapse of the Department of Education and, just COVID mismanagement and like, the cash infusion that schools got from COVID and assuming that money's always going to be there and then it's not, blah, blah, blah. Like all the things that are problematic with this. And like, we've got this billionaire that runs Illinois, this JB Pritzker fellow, and he makes
Mhm.
a lot of money, has a lot of money, wouldn't miss it if it's gone. At least a lot of it. And I was like, what if we started a campaign where we're just like, hey, JB Pritzker, you got a ton of money. You love Illinois. What if you just erased the debt of every school district in Illinois? Just, yes, there were some mistakes made, dumb things would happen, but you have enough money in your in your checking account that you could fix. You could bring every school just to zero. Just get the debt and
Yeah.
you could get everybody right there and you wouldn't feel it. He would not feel that amount of money that it would cost to fix that. Because I'm sure it would be like maybe it would be like, like maybe it might be $1 billion. I don't think it'd be that much money.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I actually think we should be shaming billionaires
Mhm.
in general because you can't. I mean, how I can't imagine driving along a street and seeing people homeless, seeing people struggle, and knowing that you could like make it all work in the flick of a wrist to sign a check, and you
Mhm.
just don't. You just don't.
Mhm.
There's no. I mean, I can't.
Well, you're not a billion people are like, "If I was a billionaire, I'd be fixing all these problems." Like, that's why you'd never be a billionaire. Because the only way to be a
Accurate.
billionaire
Yeah.
is to hoard wealth and take it from the people that are working for you. The
Yeah.
wage theft is the only way that you can get that much money unless you're Taylor Swift. She gets to be a billionaire because she did
She
it
does
all.
get to be a billionaire.
She gets to be
There should be some. I mean, but even she should be like naming like. Dude, we used to have billionaires who like
Mhm.
did a lot of
Built
stuff, and I think
libraries and
yeah, I think to be fair, we still do. There are some like solidly amazing billionaires doing great work with what they have, but it should.
sure, but I also feel like, when they kinda talk about Jeff Bezos' wife and how she, "Oh, she's just giving me money hand over fist," and I'm like, "To who?" I know she's giving it to, like, you know, e education initiatives in Africa and, it's kind of a lot of international stuff, and it's all good things I'm sure are great, but this country has been hollowed out, and it's like, I don't know, like, can you just dump $1 billion into the Department of Education and see what that would do? Because I feel like that would do as long as it was managed correctly. But I do feel
It'd be
like
a fun experiment.
but I do think if, like, we started a campaign just like, Pritzker, just wipe out the student debt in the state. Just wipe it all out. Wipe out every school's problems and get everybody so everyone's at the even playing field. Because it is so annoying that my kid has to, like, doesn't have real books. All of his everything he reads is on an iPad. They don't have any, like, physical books. It's insane. In
That's
his
wild.
Yeah. He's never brought a school book home.
What? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's and I don't know if I can't tell what it is. Is that just what school is now? Like, and I feel like iPads are bad ways of learning. I can't learn on the internet. Um, it's weird. And so I basically want to go back before the internet. I want to turn off the internet for schools. I want everything to go back to books, and I want JP Frisker to play for it. Not going to happen.
It's not the worst idea you've ever had. I do think it needs some workshopping.
Yeah. I just feel like we can do it. Like, you could just wipe out all these problems, like really obvious
Yeah.
problems. Like, like if he were to, like, I mean, he could single-handedly end homelessness in Illinois.
There are towns there are like sizable cities that have eradicated homelessness. And the way that they do it, because everybody tries to solve at the systemic level, and like that works for some things, but for homelessness, apparently, the way that you completely eradicate homelessness in your community is you get all of the key players in a room and you go one by one. Okay, John is, and first you do all the veterans because there's enough veterans benefits, and some of them need a mailbox, and you set them up that way. Once you get all the veterans housed, then you start, okay, Jane and her 3 kids don't have a place to sleep tonight. What are we going to do? Okay, here's what we need. Here's what they need. Let's figure this out. And then you just go one by one.
By
And
person? Like, you go by person by person?
by person
Hmm.
until there is no one left.
That's an interesting concept. In Panama, it's illegal to be homeless insofar that if you are homeless, your relatives actually are beholden to you. Like, if you are homeless, they go after your mom or they go after your sister. Like, there are no vagrants in Panama. Like, everybody has a home, because if you don't take care of if you are homeless, your family is supposed to be taking care of you, and your family can get basically fined and ticketed for not taking care of their family member.
It's very interesting.
Isn't it kind of beautiful too? To a certain extent?
I don't know how I feel about it. That's an odd one. I mean, think of like the batty relatives you have. I have a few.
Yeah, but you would let them go homeless?
Well, yeah, I don't.
That's the thing. It's like, when you think about, like, we let people go homeless because we decided that they're bad enough to go homeless. But if someone loves that person or loved that person, and it's like, I don't know. I think it was an interesting concept. If, like, you couldn't let your brother go crazy and be on the streets because you were going to get a ticket about it, then you're gonna do the legwork to find him on, like, a place to be and a job, and you'll be more, your brother's keeper. Anyway, this conversation has gone all over the place. And we could just do this forever. Maybe we should just do this IRL and not involve a podcast. It's like, like, men can't process, they have to get a podcast in order to talk about their feelings. That's you and me, but we just need to do it in real life.
Love it. Let's do it. It is so fun connecting with you. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
I will always have
in
you
your
as a
lady
guest.
business.
I want to go to Rancho Relaxo with you.
Let's do it.
We'll put a link to Rancho Relaxo in the show notes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Ashley Quinto Powell 2 Electric Boogaloo. And see you on the flippity flop. Thanks for listening to All Up in My Lady Business with me, Mary Nisi. We'd love for you to like, review, subscribe, follow us at All Up in My Lady Business on the gram. And if you're a female identifying person and you want to dance, you can follow. I mean, everybody can follow it, but if you want to be a part of the magic at Hot Flash Dance Party, sign up for the mailing list to find out where our next party is going to be. And if you are looking for a DJ in the Chicagoland area or anywhere else, money's the same color everywhere. Fly us out. ToastandJamDJs.com has the best. And listen to my radio show. I have a radio show on Chirp Radio at chirpradio.org. And that's Mondays, every Monday from 12 until 3 p.m. CST. Today's episode is produced by Shiraz Dada. Theme song composed and performed by, you guessed it, Shiraz Dada. All right, guys. Peace out.